we'll start with some pelvic tilts. So we're gonna focus more gentle today, and just work on just basic movements and things that it's better to do something than nothing, and we should benefit from everything we do. So shoulder blades are flat underneath you. Oh, while I'm doing this, while we're doing pelvic tilts, so as you exhale, press that back into the mat. So there is no space between your back and the mat. And then release it. So there's a tiny little space in the small of your back. Exhale and press. Inhale, release. And just see what you're feeling. Interesting to feel what's happening with you in this moment, how your body is responding. So a couple things movement-wise I noticed this week, and I don't know if this happens to you, but with me, every so often, because I had that injury in my back, you know, I have to really watch, because if I move a certain way, the back will start to be painful again. And all I had to do was bend and twist one way, and my back kind of spasmed. But I've noticed knowing the movements that we're doing, just simple movements like that, helps make it doable until you can figure out what you need to do to fix it, like whether you need to go back to rehab or just do those keep doing those exercises. So feel the connection to the back of your head, your rib cage, and your pelvis on the mat. So there's still that tiny little space in the small of your back. Your palms are down, your feet are on the mat, and you're going to lift your hands to the sky and just bring them down by your hips and do it again. So just slowly up and down. Then bring your hands down and just lift your feet one at a time into tabletop. So let's just work on simple, this is called dead bugs. Oh, the other thing is I'm in the educator in training, or mentor in training at the certification that I got. And yesterday we had a meeting, and it was kind of fun. We were coming up with ideas to be able to do peak exercises. So that was a lot of fun, and we might even incorporate the exercise I had yesterday. So bring one leg up, bring the other leg up, and do a couple pelvic tilts here. So you'll see, as I'm doing these pelvic tilts, I'm moving my legs. I'm not actually moving my legs, it's all coming from my pelvis. Now find that neutral spine again. So if I was pressed in, my knees come in. If I go to neutral spine, my knees are directly over my hip bones. And then just tap down one leg at a time from here, maintaining the stabilization of your pelvis. Yay, Vicky got here, yay. So continue up and down. Good. And if this gets to be too much, just do the exercise from the floor. I personally think it's more challenging to do it this way, but it's easier to maintain the pelvic stabilization from here. Okay, so wrap your hands around your shins and let's do those femur circles, getting into the hips. And reverse it. Then keep your legs in tabletop, hands to the sky. As you bring your left foot down, bring your right arm back and come in and continue alternating like this. Now this is a little more challenging, both on keeping the stabilization and the work. So you can always do it like this. So there's always so many options for movement. And we're breathing and letting go. Now, if you really want to challenge yourself to start, just bring both feet up and down together. If you really want to knock yourself out, bring your arms and feet in opposite directions. Exhale when you come down. You can play around with the breath, but the reason I'm asking you to exhale when you bring your feet down is because it'll help you maintain your back to the mat when you bring your arms back. And then grab your legs again and hug your knees into your chest. And just wrap your hands around your right shin. Extend your left leg flat into the mat. Gently hug your right knee and aim it towards your right armpit. Circle your right foot from the ankle joint. Reverse the circle. And let's see, can you open up that leg a little more to the side? And then bring it center, keeping your leg in a 90-degree angle, keeping both shoulders on the floor. Cross your right leg a little to the left. Now, this is the first time we're doing this, so take your time getting that leg up and over, looking over your right shoulder. Breathing, filling your entire body with air, feeling everything releasing. Unravel. Wrap your hands behind your right hamstring and begin to straighten and bend that right leg. So from here, if you'd like to work into those hamstrings a little more, maybe massage your fingers into the back of your leg and find where it's the most tender. And maybe kind of just hold it there and see if that helps you increase your flexibility. You could point your foot when you lengthen, bend, and then flex your foot when you lengthen and bend. And just alternating one leg pointed and then flex that same leg. Then from here, hold that leg straight. Your hands could be wherever you're most comfortable and press your leg into your hands and release into a deeper stretch. Maybe come higher, press and release, and press and release, and then open your right leg on a diagonal towards the right side. Make sure you're keeping that left hip anchored into the mat. So you should feel hamstring, possibly inner thigh. Do what you can to maintain an evenness in the hips, getting a nice deep stretch in that right leg. If you need, you could always grab a strap, or if you have a magic circle. As you exhale, bring that leg back center, bend your knee again, and bring both legs together and rock a little side to side. And then slowly let both legs drop all the way over towards the left. If you can't, do as far as it feels okay to you. And just stay here. So now your knees are stacked as you're looking over your right shoulder. Taking a nice deep breath here. And then unravel so you're laying completely onto your left side. Your left hand is on the top of your right leg. Your right arm's going to come forward to the ceiling and roll back. Find the stretch here. Unravel, hold the back of your head with your hands, lift your top elbow and come back again. So now you're getting into that chest. So everybody's going to feel this a little differently. I'm hoping most everybody feels the stretch in the chest area, right around the armpit. Some of us are going to feel it in the back. Just getting into that spine to open up deeper. It is okay if your elbow doesn't make it to the floor. Unravel. And then roll back. And just let yourself hold on to your left leg as your right leg comes straight to the mat. Gently hugging that left knee towards your left armpit, really pressing that right leg down, and circle your left foot from the ankle joint and reverse it. And wrap your hands around your left hamstring and open and close that leg. So I do realize on the other side, I started with a twist first, but I'm changing the order a little bit on this side. We'll get exactly everything we did, just in a different order. And if you'd like, this is a good time to massage into your leg. Take your time, maybe pointing and flexing. Before you do the next thing, hug your left leg with your left hand and see if you can get that left leg to open up a little more to the left side. Allow that leg to rest into your hands. My hand is here to remind me to keep my right hip down. You can keep your hand here if you can maintain it. You might even feel a stretch in the front of your right leg. And then bring that leg back center and then straighten and bend again. So we're not going to cross over just yet. We'll do all the crossover together. And just notice where you feel it the most. Then place your hands on the lower part of your leg and just press and release. And if it feels good, come higher, press and release. You don't have to lift your head off the mat. If it feels good, you can. And then hold it, and then open the left leg on a diagonal to the left side, doing your best to keeping that right hip anchored into the mat. Really lengthening through that left leg, keeping that right hip down. I'm cheating and using the window because I really want to keep that right hip down, and I'm getting that nice stretch in the left leg. Shoulders away from your ears. And then come back center. Bend your left leg and cross it all the way over. Keeping both shoulders on the floor, turn your head to look over your left shoulder. So this, even though it's a spinal twist, and this is part of your spine, you'll also feel, if you really need it, a stretch in your neck.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It's really all the way from the top of your head down to your hips. Unravel and place both legs in tabletop. Arms can be out to the sides as you rock a little side to side. And when you feel good, let both legs drop all the way to the right. And just see how that feels. And same thing, turn your head. Look over that left arm. And then unravel so you're laying completely onto your right side. Your knees are up nice and high. And we'll start with the ones with the elbows. So just lift your left elbow and roll back. Do your best to keep your knees stacked, getting that stretch in your chest. With every breath, see if you can allow yourself to release a little more. hoping everybody is really feeling good here, that you could feel yourself opening, unwinding. Unravel. Bring your top arm forward to the ceiling and roll back yet again. Just notice what's happening. And then unravel back to your side and come all the way back, hugging your knees into your chest. So we're gonna keep our legs in tabletop. Actually, let's bring our feet to the mat. This next one's really important for everybody. So we're on our backs and we're gonna start our bridging. So from here, slowly peel your spine off the back. The rule is, if you cramp up, you come right back down. And then slowly peel down. And just notice what you're feeling as you're bridging. You could play around with the distance of where your feet are. And slowly roll up. And slowly come down. Really working through the articulation of your spine, keeping the weight even in your feet. Let's do a few more of these. So keep your hips up, get up, really, the weight is in your feet evenly, so you can feel your heels on the floor, you could feel the pads of your big toes and towards your pinky toes. Hips come even higher, ribs stay down. I'm going to incorporate yoga bridge, and this is the challenge, so I'd like you to clasp your hands together underneath you and see if you can roll under one shoulder at a time, but see if you can keep the ribs down and the hips up. That's much more challenging than what we used to do in the old version of yoga bridge. We used to flare the ribs. It's more challenging to keep those ribs down here. And then slowly, slowly, slowly roll down, really getting that massage in your lower back. Then bring your hands behind your head. As you exhale, press your ribs into the mat and see if you can get your chest off the floor and rest your head in your hands. Then lift your feet up and extend your left leg as you twist towards the right leg. Come center as you inhale, twist the other leg. Come center as you inhale, continue alternating the twist. Really working on getting the head and shoulders off the mat. The lower your legs, the more challenging on your back. So if you really need to be safe, lift them a little higher. And come back center and roll down. Let's do a couple femur circles and reverse it. And then let your feet come down to the wider edges of the mat and begin to windshield wiper those legs side to side. So now we're getting through psoas and quadriceps. The next time your legs drop to the left, let them stay there. If you feel a pull in your right knee, you could put something under it like a pillow or whatever you need, or you could walk your foot in a little. I do want you to feel the stretch in your quadricep, maybe even into your hip. Hands behind your head, pick up your right elbow and bring your elbow as far over to the floor on the left side as you're able. My hope is you feel that stretch below the waist on the right side of your body. Just take your time and breathe, letting everything unwind. Unravel and change sides. So start with just the legs dropping, and then pick up your left elbow and bring it to the floor on the right side. Notice if you're holding on. If your knee is up here, you're holding on. Just let everything go. You could always adjust the positioning. Unravel back to your backs. And then from here, pick up your right ankle and cross it over your left thigh and aim that knee away from you. Rock your legs a little side to side. Come center and lift that left leg off the mat, hands around the left hamstring. If you'd like to go a little deeper, hands around the left shin. Doing your best to keep your leg nice and open, and then tilt your legs an inch to the left. Come back center, unravel and switch legs. Opening that left leg, rock a little side to side. This might be all you do. If you're okay here, pick that right leg up. If that's not deep enough, wrap your hands around the right shin and tilt an inch towards the right if you need to go even deeper. And then unravel. And we're gonna rock and roll ourselves all the way up to sitting, taking your time. And we're gonna go right into our Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together, knees open, and just find the positioning that works for you. So from here, when you come down, my hope is you feel inner thigh. I'm just sort of readjusting. I don't know what I did the other day, but the knee got in there again. So carefully come down. I love how your kitty is doing Pilates with us. Pilates yoga. Come back up and extend just your right leg out. So if you're feeling any kind of strain in that left leg, you could either pull something under your knee, or I'm just sort of readjusting in here. I can feel what I need to do to get that in the right place. And then you're gonna lift up your left arm and come all the way up and over like you wanna feel like there's a big ball in here, and you're coming up and over, getting a stretch in the left side of the body. And if it feels okay, take that left bicep a little behind you. Take a nice deep breath here. And come up. And we're all gonna come to our knee for a moment, if you're okay here. If not, please don't do this. This is just a little extra stretch for the inner thigh. So basically, if you're okay here, just stay here.
If you need to, you can come down to your forearms. I really want you to feel your right inner thigh. Take a couple breaths here, and you could be wherever it feels the best to you. You could be up or you could be down. And wherever you are, see if you can open up that right arm towards the sky. Bring it down. Maybe bring the left arm towards the sky. Bring it down and bring both legs together. And I'm gonna right away have us do it on the other side. So extend out your left leg. Make sure you feel nice and stable. Boy, I feel this all the way into the outside of my shin, which tells me a story. And then from here, if you can, come down to your forearms, and hopefully you're feeling a nice stretch in that inner thigh.
Yeah, good.
Yes, this is actually right out of my knee rehab. It's really surprising to know that sometimes your knee pain comes from your inner thigh. And then if you'd like, open up your left arm to the sky and come down. And then the right arm and down, and come back up. So from here, since we're on our hands and knees, let's all come to our bellies. I'm doing that because I know there's a few of us who shouldn't be on our knees too long. So I want to be kind. So from here, we're going to do swimming. So for right now, I'm propped up because I want to see you. You can lay down, but if you need to see me for the first part, I want the belly button off the mat and just lift your right leg off the mat. And then come down. And then lift your left leg off the mat. What I don't want you to feel is your lower back. I want you to feel like you're trying to touch that wall behind you as you lift. Good, we're just lifting. So now, from here, your forehead is on the mat. You're gonna lift up a little from the chest, hands up, and you're gonna alternate your hands up and down. So if you can maintain both your hips and hands up and alternate like you're really swimming badly, you should feel a lot of energy in the back of your body. Your belly button is touching your spine. You're lengthening. If you feel your lower back, take a moment. You can always come down and rest. So wherever you are, hands under your armpits, press yourself back up again. And I'm hoping everybody can be here for a little bit because this next one's just really good for the back. So right now I just extended my right foot back. I'm gonna point it up, keeping the hips even. Extend your left arm forward and really feel as if somebody's pulling you in opposite directions. And then come back down and switch. Left foot back, point that foot up. Right arm forward, lengthen, lengthen, and come down. So the next few breaths, inhale and down, and inhale and down. And your feet could be, they don't have to do what mine are doing. You can do whatever variation. So I'm doing both versions. And come back in and have a seat again. Okay, so you could sit however you feel comfortable. And I just want you to lift up your right arm and lift up and over towards the left side and come up and switch. And we're just going to do a few of these back and forth. And then come back center and change the cross of your legs. And do the same. Start with your right arm up and over and go side to side, or the left arm. Sorry, I'm reversing it because I'm facing you dead on, and I believe my right is your left. And then come back center, and we're just gonna go into a straddle stretch. So this is really more about where you can be keeping your sit bones on the floor. Hands can be here to protect your knees as you lean forward. Really getting a nice stretch wherever you need it the most. And then coming back up, sit however is the most comfortable possible for you. And we're just gonna sit nice and tall, and we're gonna take our right arm and gently pull your fingers towards you. So if you are a hypermobile person, you can get the fingers to the back of your wrist. Avoid that. I want you to really work on feeling stabilization as you stretch. So you want to get into the actual stretch. Feeling that stretch in your forearm, and then switch hands. So we're getting into our arms. You're only going as back as it feels okay to you. And then we're gonna ball up our hands nice and tight and really separate them wide. Let's do a few of this. Really ball them tight, separate them wide. 2 more, tight and wide. Actually, let's do 4 more. Tight, wide, 2 more after this. 1, and last one, and then palms together. Now from here, let's sit tall and reach your right ear to the sky. So if I'm guessing correctly, this is my left side, it should be your right side. And we're gonna keep our shoulders even, and if you could see yourself in the camera, you could see that. So you're supported on this side and you're stretching on this side. And then just look down at your left armpit. Take your left hand and place it at the base of your skull and press your head into your hand. Release, roll your chin center, lift your head up. Before we go to the other side, I want you again to find yourself sitting tall and bring your hands back. Resist or watch the tendency of rolling the shoulders forward. I want your shoulders back, your shoulder blades, imagine them flat against the wall. So your hands are back, your shoulders are flat, you're sitting tall, and you're going to turn your head to the right and look center, and turn your head to the left and look center, and release. Now from here, you're going to reach your left ear to the sky. So notice where the stretch is. It should be here mostly, but you might feel a release in the other side. Somewhere, I don't know, about a year ago, somebody was noticing I was super tight on one side, but it was a result of being even tighter on the other side. And then look down at your right armpit. Take your right hand behind your head, press your head into your hand. Release, roll your chin center, lift your head up, sit tall again, press your arms back, start to the left, look center, right, center, release. Bring your thumbs to your heart again. I want to thank you all for coming today. I wish you all love, peace, joy, and wonderful good health always. Namaste. And I'm going to turn off the camera.